BehindTheMaskPresents.com here with another The Walking Dead podcast talking about us. I'm Aaron with Riverman and Pat. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Howdy, folks.
You know, I think I got half of what I wanted with this episode. The half that I got was, on one hand, most of the group did get back together for the most part. A lot of them. I mean, we're still waiting on Rick and Michonne and stuff. But the other half that I didn't get is stuff happened, but I wanted basically what happened at the end of this episode with them arriving at Terminus. I wanted that to happen the last episode. So we had 2 whole episodes with Terminus. Now we just barely got into Terminus, and the whole last episode is going to be just sort of getting to know a new threat, which is probably going to dominate at least the first half of the next season. So we're not even going to get into what they've been teasing the entire last half season, which pisses me really off.
Well, we'll have like you said, we'll have the last episode to kind of get a feel for what Terminus is all about, because obviously they're not gonna play all their cards on this one in the very first episode, but it's somewhat disappointing, I guess. But
looks like some sort of cult, I think. But
what was the meat on the grill there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Probably Beth.
The cat's out of the bag. I mean,
which I'm going to get into later.
I mean, the cat's out of the bag on what they are and who they are. Right. It's the hunters or whatever. They eat people, all that stuff. I mean, that whole I don't know, which I think is cool. I don't really get so butthurt about the spoilers as far as people that let you know, oh, this was in the comics. Naturally, there's some big art points they're going to hit in the show that were in the comics, like the governor and things like that. And I knew the governor was coming before the governor hit, because they announced, oh, this person was cast as this character, and then everybody jumps on board telling us who that is. That don't bug me as long as the show's consistent, which they're not. I mean, they need to change it up here, man. This whole giving us 4 boring episodes and maybe a filler episode, then we get like an amazing episode, doesn't cut it. I mean, I loved the last week's episode, and maybe 4 episodes ago they had one I loved as well, but it's not compensating.
It's been so stagnant. I mean, last week was, one of the best episodes on The Walking Dead, like you said. Top 10 in my eyes, top 5 in yours. And then this week is the Glenn and Maggie show, 2.0. So.
I didn't mind it. I just think it's a load of crap that they.
There was an audible gasp from another person in the room that I was watching it with. So they hit the demos with that moment there. So they did what their intended point. So the thing of it is we know tragically one of them has to die, just specifically by the burning of the picture too. So
yeah, which that's stupid. I mean, who's gonna do that in real life? I mean, that's just poetic screen gimmick there. Like, no, burn it because you'll never need it again. Yeah, but still, maybe I at least want to remember you when you were young and hot.
Right.
You know,
what if we get separated again?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I get the sentiment you're going for there, Maggie. I mean, I appreciate that, but
what's Glenn going to toss off to?
Well, I mean, he's clearly been tossing off to that picture for a while now. You'd think that's all that does it for him now. He might want to hold on to it.
Probably sneaking a peek at Tara or Rosita late at night too.
Yeah.
Or who knows? Who knows? Maybe even the good doctor.
Which Rosita's acting is god awful too. We didn't.
Oh, she's just ugh.
But that whole thing. Like I said, I get the sentiment, what they were trying to do as far as TV programming, but it's just not applicable in real life. That's like me telling my wife, "Hey, you know what? I plan on our kids being here forever. Let's just burn those baby albums. Let's just burn them." It's not applicable, and I don't know. It's totally dumb. But like I said, the thing that bugs me the most about this episode is the thing they've been teasing away at for the entire half season, just giving us annoying episode after annoying episode, they're not even going to get into till next season. And they're teasing us just to give us a tease. And it drives me crazy. Like, it's just going to be so anticlimactic, I can feel.
And what specifically are you talking about?
Really getting into Terminus. They should have wrapped this up a little quicker and got people determined. I wanted at least 2 episodes at Terminus. I don't want us to just...
This makes me think maybe then they're going to try to push for a 6th season on top of it.
Please, God, no.
They're definitely gonna. I mean, I don't want to hear it, but I guess comic nerds are already talking about this other character, basically this another antagonist like the governor who's already been cast. So I don't know where he fits in. It sounds like I have a feeling that it's going to be formulaic like this last season, where the next one, the first half of the season, is going to be this Terminus arc. And maybe we're going to get introduced to this new governor type guy. I have a feeling the second half will be maybe them making their pilgrimage to D.C. I don't know if we're going to follow that or not, or if even the people going to D.C. are going to make it. Billy Ray Cyrus, or which actually is starting to remind me of Danny McBride.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see except he's kind of creepy. He's kind of creepier though. He's just got that weird, but he's funny though. It's fun. He's a weird character.
His slang he uses is just
that guy who plays him. That guy who plays him is great.
It just just the way he talks and kind of the things he say are just kind of like borderline mentally retarded. Just I expect it to be a Danny McBride, like it makes me more aerodynamic when I fight. Just stupid shit like that. Which like I said, I couldn't tell if I was getting annoyed by his character, if I was entertained by his character. I couldn't tell at times.
I was entertained.
I was entertained. I don't understand why he's such a helpless little baby. Like, he can't do anything for himself. Does Abraham, follow him out into the woods when he needs to take a shit too?
Well,
like, and then in that, like when they reach that minivan, like he was like, "You got him?" Like, yeah. It's like, okay, I got this. Like, he can't handle being behind the two of them with one zombie without worrying about something absolutely horrible happening to him and he dies.
But at the same time, on that end, he doesn't know what's good for him. But at the end, we have Abraham totally caving to his opinion. He says, "I'm wrong. I go with him." Like I listen, or whatever he says. So I don't know. By his own logic, it just collapsed. I don't get it. But
we did get to really know the character Joe, which I actually kind of like.
I like that.
I hope he sticks around a little while. He doesn't get killed off next episode.
No, what's gonna happen is
I think all those dudes will be dead real quick.
Now, really? What's gonna happen? It's becoming formulaic. We saw on the next episode, Rick was beating the shit out of or whatever. Look, I have a feeling it's gonna come down to a showdown between Joe and Rick, because Rick was obviously back in the house and he killed their buddy, and they're hunting for him. They're on the trail. And it's going to come down to between a showdown between those two. I mean, and I don't see Rick losing. And, it might be one of those situations where Daryl is pitted to choose again. It might be a thing like, remember Merle and that whole deal? And Merle wanted to kill Rick for leaving him for dead and all that stuff. Daryl's going to be back in this situation where...
Well, I don't think it's really to that extent. I mean, he really doesn't trust Joe. He doesn't.
Exactly. But you know what? I mean... I don't know. He's kind of bonding with him. He's a manipulator too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, by him beating the shit out of his enemy he made, and proving that point. You never know. Either way, it's going to come down to a brawl of sorts. Maybe they meet Rick before he gets to Terminus, and maybe they're holding him and beating the shit out of him. I have no idea. But that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
As far as the main characters, that's the big thing people are talking about, is one main character is going to die, which, by the way, I do understand that Tyrese at this point is probably considered a main character, of course, but I'll be very disappointed if it's Tyrese or his sister that dies. When I think of a main player is going to die, we still have a handful of people that have been around since the first season.
It's totally obvious who it is.
Well, it has to be. But I think it has to either be Glenn or Maggie too. One of those two has to die.
Look. We've got, from the first season, we still have Norman Reedus, Andrew Lincoln. We've got Carol, which I can see Carol going, because the big impression she made on this episode, it's almost like setting her up for a way out. And who else do we got from the first season? Chandler Riggs. You know what? It's like these, and Glenn. One of these guys has to go, for God's sakes. I think, and even season 2 is nothing to scoff at. We got Maggie and we got Beth. I'm starting to think. I think Beth's
going to be a shish kebab by the end of this episode.
Well,
you think so?
Yeah, they're going to be eating her.
I mean, yeah. Well,
do you think they'll go that hardcore with Beth?
Well, I think she'll be dead. I mean,
but...
they'll probably find her dead, and then they'll all react to it, and then get in some sort of showdown or something.
Well, we can't have a potential love triangle. I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, Carol's going to enter in the picture, Daryl's going to be there, and then we got the whole Beth thing. One of them's going to go, and I think Beth is going to go, and I think it's going to be, almost coulda, woulda, never happened. I think she's going to go. Well, at least one of them's going to go, and I think it'd be Beth over Carol, and I think Glenn's going to go. I hope anyway.
Hope so.
I don't. Not that I care too much about Sasha and Tyrese and all that stuff, but that's not good enough for me. They need to really make a shocking exit with somebody. Carl would be fully acceptable as well.
No, that won't happen.
That won't, dude.
You're
Carl
dreaming.
is gonna be around to the bitter end. He is going to be around.
Last episode.
God, he'll be a potential like we've kept saying, John Connor. I mean, hope for the future. You never know, which sucks. But anyway, I don't know. What else? I mean, what else is there to talk about in this episode? A lot of stuff is happening.
Tara almost got it again, and all of a sudden her leg was miraculously fine after being trapped under a boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And also, I mean, Abraham's got some really good gaydar.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
So you looking at my wife's tits?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's like, I figure you're in love with him, whatever. I caught you, staring down my wife's rack or whatever. I don't blame you, whatever. I mean, like, really? I mean, here's the thing about women. Everybody likes boobs. Even women like boobs. They're beautiful. I think anybody's going to look at boobs that are just dangling in front of you. I mean, I wouldn't gather just by that one instance that, hey, she likes women only. I don't know. And even if you're in love with Glenn, that doesn't mean you're not going to look at some big boobs in front of you. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Rosita's aren't that big.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, River or Pat, that's like if anybody was in that situation and you see something like right in front of your face, it's natural instinct to look. I don't care if you're married or not married. I just don't know how he came to that conclusion so fast.
It's like George Costanza in Seinfeld.
He's amazingly observant, and plus, aren't girls better at checking out other people than guys are? I mean, like, how is he that observant to where he can notice that?
I don't know, but I do like this character. I am liking Abraham's character more and more and more. And he's like an onion, There's more layers developing here. He's not such a dick. He like when they got to the tunnel or whatever, he was willing to barter with Glenn and make that deal in exchange for the riot gear. And and even when they had to back out, he told them, hey, we're going to be this way if you change your mind, or, here, I'll leave you some rations and all that stuff. He was not too bad of a guy at the end of the day.
Glenn is, he's an idiot for actually wanting to go through that tunnel because he knew what was coming. And he knew what was coming. So why even chance it?
I don't know. Put yourself in that situation. I don't know. It sounds kind of ridiculous and extreme, but I don't know. What if that situation was applicable to us?
You got one flashlight, and something happens to that, you're fucked.
Yeah, I thought about the whole time. Like, God, how good are those batteries, man? They got that would suck. I don't know.
What was Maggie saying about? Did she shoot the roof up and then it all caved in or something?
Yeah, she said she emptied her clip into the ceiling and then it happened. That's what caused it to collapse.
Into concrete. She shot into concrete and it all collapsed.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay.
Didn't she say? Didn't she say like, what would Glenn do?
Yeah,
that's what Glenn would do.
Well, I don't want him leading any army I might be behind. That's your best plan. Why not try to run towards the other side of the tunnel?
Yeah, no shit.
Or
And I know this was the first. I was looking forward to seeing some more Rick, which we really didn't get. I mean, we haven't had Rick in 4 episodes, something ridiculous like that. I don't know. And then when we do get him, we only got him for all of 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was that most ridiculous scene where they're playing the game on the train track. Once again, I understand what it's supposed to represent, the whole candy bar thing. We're just we're trying to build the arc of the relationship between Michonne and Carl, whether that's like a motherly son thing.
I think that's way overplayed. I mean, we know that.
They got the point across. I agree. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of that, but if that's all they're going to show, and, Rick stopping and smiling and laughing like, man, you got some high spirits, Rick. I don't know. I need some more with that if they're going to do that. And who knows, man? Actually, I had a brief thought there. I'm like, they're getting along. It's almost like it's not even like a mother-son thing. I think it's more like a friend thing. Like she's trying to, come down to his level. But I got to thinking, it is a zombie apocalypse, and I wonder if you gave Carl 5 years, if they would shack up.
Oh, where this is going.
I wonder if
you wouldn't even have to give him 5 years. I'm sure that they'd be knocking the boots pretty soon.
He'd probably take a run at it right now if he could.
Probably. He's probably feeling pretty painful that he lost Beth. He almost had Beth. There was that one episode in season 3 at the beginning where, like, I think it was the premiere where they were like locking eyes and there's a little bit of flirting. Nothing ever came from that, and she just, I don't know. He's got to get a piece at some point. He's an adolescent.
So maybe he'll find one in Terminus and they can run away or something.
I wonder if they'll eat each other.
Oh God.
That's lame, but
that's oh my God, that was terrible.
Okay, and the other thing to really talk about is let's not ignore the Joe arc, because it was cool. That was probably the highlight of the episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got some Daryl screen time that was really good. This was Daryl I like to see. This is where he belongs. He really shined here, way more than he has in the entire last half season or whatever. But I don't know. That group's kind of weird with their shady ass rules, And why in the world was this episode not called Claimed? Why was it like 3 episodes ago it was called Claimed?
That's weird. I don't know.
They said it every other word in this script for this episode.
As a character though, Joe is like they do have those weird tough rules, but they're strangely fair and applicable in today, and what's going on for them now. Obviously, as we saw, they're open for artistic interpretation. When it comes to this handing out of severity of the punishment, that guy got a freaking arrow through the eye when all they thought they were going to do was just give him level him a beating. So I think he's a really interesting character, but I don't see him really sticking around for too long. But who knows? That guy's he was a character actor in Sons of Anarchy. Right? I don't know if he still is or not.
That's what I was wondering. I've seen him around before.
Yeah, he was
the mayor or something.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's in Sons of Anarchy. I don't know how many seasons he's been in. I haven't seen them all, so I'm not caught up on that. But I know he was in quite a few. So
hey, I just watched episode 1 last night, first time. So don't spoil it.
Everybody dies. it's based off of Hamlet, so if you can't figure that friggin' out, then yeah.
But as far as this art goes, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it shined. I liked the characters. I was entertained thoroughly during all of that part, and I don't know. I like the way Daryl handled the situation. I mean, I was trying to think because they like to make a lot of decisions in the show that just seem out of necessity. Like, they wouldn't really do that. Kind of like, I want booze. Okay, we need to progress the story along or whatever. But you know what? I mean, he's in that situation. He's hunting. Somebody else steals it. I mean, he could have started a fist fight right there, but he was just kind of given the silent treatment, but standing his ground. I don't know. I think that's the way he'd really handle it. I mean, he's surrounded. He's not reckless.
As Daryl has kind of evolved as a character, that's how, that is how he would handle it now. Say season 1 when he was still around Merle, he might have shot first and asked questions later and then got himself in a bit more of, that would have been a sticky situation.
He was hard-headed, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, not reckless. You're not knowing that, hey, he would not get...
It's more calculated, and he picks his battles a little better when it comes to that stuff. And even when the guy accused him of, stealing that other half of the rabbit, he didn't really kind of get all up in the dude's face or try to solve it some irrational way. He just kind of laid back and let Joe kind of handle it.
He kind of reminds me of the shy misfit kid in school on its first day.
Kind of.
So you being an animal lover, Pat, how did that make you feel when they cut the rabbit right against?
I mean, they're getting their food. It wasn't absolutely gratuitous, so I was fine with it. It doesn't really bother me so much as, like I said, the other person that's in the room as well. But just the pig scene earlier in the season, that just I understood the necessity of it, but I found it a bit graphic. But this was all right for some reason.
and how long are we expected to believe that half of a rabbit carcass is supposed to be good in the heat in a hefty bag?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Isn't there field dressing you need to do before, bacteria starts to set in? I figured,
maggot infested already.
Yeah, if you have to do a deer within the first 20 minutes to an hour if you're going to do it. And plus then you got to freaking cool, you got to get the thing pretty cooled pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That meat's gonna. You better start making some rabbit jerky real quick out of that thing. It's all grody and mangy looking.
I imagine he was hungry then. You know, he was hungry when he hunted it. Why? So it's like, okay, I got it, and now I'm just gonna. He was getting ready to go to bed when they found that garage with the rabbit in his bag. Like, you're saving it for later? I don't understand. In your refrigerator? It made no sense. I mean, I don't know. That part was kind of weird, but I don't know. All in all, I enjoyed this episode. I'm interested as to what you guys think are the predictions for the finale. Like I said, I'm pretty disappointed about how much time we're going to have with Terminus. But what do you think is going to happen, Pat?
Oh, for the finale, I don't know really if what's going to be revealed.
There's got to be a cliffhanger. There's got to be one big thing.
There is. But I just don't really can't really get a kind of a clear view of what glimpse we're going to get into Terminus and how that's going to turn out. I think that the Joe and Daryl and Tyrese situation, I think that'll all meeting up with Rick and Carol and everybody will kind of all come to a head right before they get to Terminus, and maybe bring the whole thing kind of down to their front doorstep at Terminus, and maybe there'll be a big confrontation or conflict right in front at the front gates of it. Apparently, the next episode is absolutely action packed. I don't know if you guys checked out The Talking Dead after it.
I don't watch that garbage.
I basically watch it just for
CM Punk.
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh god.
And then the extra sneak peek, but it was just a scene of Rick, Michonne, and Carl walking, and then all of a sudden a zombie comes out, and Chris Hardwick said that apparently the producer said that was the only scene they could show from the absolute without giving anything away from this absolutely action packed episode. So I think it'll all kind of play out. I'm not quite sure what the big cliffhanger will be though. Maybe that they'll find out that the people who kidnapped Beth are at Terminus, and that's kind of where they need to go from there. I'm not really quite sure.
Are we totally sure that the biker gang has nothing to do with Terminus? Are we pretty confident in that
they're probably just drifters? But like you were saying earlier, I think they're going to have a standoff with Rick, and I think, of course, Rick or the biker gang, not knowing that Daryl knows Rick, Daryl's going to save the day, kill off the bikers, or whatever you want to call them, the hobos, and that's going to happen. And then, of course, Beth is probably going to be, rat bait, and then they're going to see it, and then all hell's going to break loose in Terminus. But
yeah, I'm just trying to think of a good leave-off point for an entire season. I mean, obviously, there's got to be a cap-off. There's got to be some kind of resolution to the prior problem. I mean, with season 3, we had them taking in the rest of Woodbury and the governor running away. That was some kind of resolution. Here, we're in Terminus, and clearly it's going to be too fast for them to take over Terminus and kill the cannibals, and so that I just don't see it happening. It's like I don't know. It just seems like it can't not end in a way of like total blackout, like in the heat of everything. And I'm trying to figure out where they're going to find an appropriate way to end it, because there's got to be some resolution. Other than, I don't know. It's like this fucking last episode needs to be 2 hours long.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I think I agree. I think it does. Their finales kind of need to be anymore.
They need to be longer. I just don't know how it's not going to be a to be continued type of thing. And
then like you said, how long are we going to spend in Terminus in the next season?
I think they found their niche with these whole half season things. These half seasons are basically little mini seasons, and I think they're going to do the Terminus thing for the first half. Of the. I do. They're going to do they're going to just like they finished out the governor stuff and the prison stuff with the first half of season 4. I mean, technically, it's like 3.5. 4 didn't start for me till the second half of the season, and then we're gonna have 4.5 with Terminus in the first half of this next one, and then we're gonna be presented with a new set of scenery and all that stuff with season 4.5, whether that's DC or whatever. And sadly, I think we've got at the bare minimum season 6 too.
And I'd like to see the whole DC thing. I think that would be cool, but which
I don't buy, by the way. What's that whole thing with Sasha? Which, and Bob, we'll go with you, but we just want to see Terminus first. I got a couple problems with that. They just met this guy who looks like Fat Sheamus, WWE. He looks like Fat Sheamus. They just met him. They don't know him from Adam. But yes, we're going to jump along with your crazy idea, even though we don't know what's going on. I mean, has he revealed to anybody what their motives are? Like,
does Abraham even know?
No, I mean, I don't know. They're saying, oh, he knows. They're saying Billy Ray Cyrus, Danny McBride here knows what caused the virus. All right, good enough. Me.
Yeah, why don't they reveal the thing? I mean,
we'll go with you blindly. That just sounds off.
Maybe that'll be the reveal in the season finale. That'll be the thing.
Well, and that would be, I guess that'd be enough. But and also I find it hard to believe that she didn't want to go anywhere before because she didn't want to face the fact her brother might be dead. Now she's going to find her brother. She's gung-ho. So what happens if Tyrese doesn't want to do it? Is she still going to go with Seamus if Tyrese doesn't want to and just leave him? Like, all right, I'm glad you're alive. Bye.
No, because now she's not got a boyfriend. She got Bob, so.
I don't know. I think she's overcommitting here. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
Does this show make any sense at all? No.
Not particularly.
Yeah.
To us, anyways, apparently.
So hopefully, like I said, my only prediction is that there's going to be a standoff with Joe and the gang, and that's going to involve Rick, Joe in particular, because they got the vendetta and all that stuff. And there's going to have to be some swift thinking on Norman Reedus's part. And yeah, I think Beth's dead, and I think I hope I don't want Carol to die. No. I don't think anybody's safe except for Rick personally, but I don't think Carol will die. But I don't want her to die. But I think Beth and Glenn. Mm-hmm.
I think Glenn.
And I guess I hope to God we get some sort of resolution. At least I want to know. Even then, we don't know. I don't want to hear what this asshole thinks is the outbreak source. I want to know what the facts are. I don't. So if we get that, I guess that's good enough. But that's all I got for that. I don't know. How about ratings? Start, Pat.
I'll go with an 8 on this one. I'm sticking kind of pretty much in the middle. I mean, it's an episode that really kept my interest. The things that were revealed, like we talked about with Joe and Daryl kind of going, I like him as a character. So I think, like I said, I think he will be dead by the end of the season finale. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it is an interesting story arc. So, I mean, again, it's just kind of another episode that we've gotten to just lead into another one. Because, like I said, they said the last episode is so action packed they can't give, nothing can be given away.
So action packed that they should have given us a 2-hour episode. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I was going to give it an 8 as well. I think it was a really solid episode. I don't really have any major gripes or anything, but and it was rounded enough. Like I said, I don't know, not enough Rick and all that, but yeah, I give it an 8. I liked it a lot.
You know what? It really didn't keep me on the edge of my seat. I agree with you guys on the whole Joe and Daryl scenario and how that played out, and I do really like that. But other than that, I thought it was pretty boring. So I would give it a 6. I did not want to see the whole Glenn and Maggie scenario, which you knew was coming. But I mean, that's just God.
What about that emotional part where when he first saw the first message in blood left for him, and he starts running?
Yeah.
Like, all right, you probably got a couple days ahead of you, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Don't wear yourself out, Chief.
And it's funny because the next scene you see, they're all caught up with each other. See, Glenn, you burned out, and they caught up to you because they paced themselves.
Yeah.
That was kind of anxious, but I don't know. I wouldn't say I was on the edge of my seat either, like the last episode where something intense happened, but I was entertained.
You guys are pretty generous for being the second to the last episode of the season. 8 is pretty generous for this episode.
If you're anymore, it's almost less like low expectations. As long as it isn't an episode where 2 of the characters are just hanging out in an old house getting drunk, then it gets an 8.
Yeah, but they didn't really accomplish anything except getting to Terminus. That was it.
That's because, but anymore, I've kind of just submitted to the pacing of the show. Like that's just kind of what we're getting. It's not Breaking Bad. So
this will be 10 seasons after it's all said and done. The way they're going.
That's unacceptable.
I just wasn't.
I won't be doing this for 10 seasons.
I was entertained by it. I wasn't on the edge of my seat like kids are getting killed in front of me or anything like that. But I was entertained. We got some character exposure. kind of really all around between the gang with Joe and Daryl. Had some really good scenes in this one that actually served a purpose. We got, Danny McBride showing his dialogue skills, and I got a little more development. No, shut the fuck up for a second. I got a little bit out of, and I got a little more out of Seamus. I learned a little bit that he's more fair than I gave him credit for. And we got a little resolution with the whole Maggie and the Glenn thing. Is hate it or not, the sappy love story, it was resolution. And most of the people did at least unite. I was entertained by it. So I give it an 8. I wasn't bored by it.
It was a decent setup episode for something that we already know is good. We're gonna be let down by anyway. So
the only thing I can really knock is the fact that the last episode isn't going to be twice as long or be a 2-parter. I mean, I can't really take it out on this episode. It's probably going to be the last episode that's going to get the beating because I just feel like it needs to be longer or we need more time. But
I'm honestly surprised they don't make theirs longer. A lot of the other shows have made. I mean, even just a couple minutes, so you kind of get the whole feel. Even on AMC's, they've kind of done that. So it's kind of
Breaking Bad did that. Didn't they get extra 15 minutes added of footage on those last episodes? I believe
so.
Yeah, some of those episodes were like 75 minutes with the commercials.
They got 15 bonus minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like full run episodes of like HBO shows. Mm-hmm. Which even Game of Thrones goes over like 7 minutes each episode, so you almost get like an extra, or a couple minutes over each episode, so you get an extra episode by the end of the season.
But anyway, this episode is just an appetizer for next week's episode that hopefully will be tasty to watch as it will be to talk about on this podcast. But do stay tuned and call us on that number, of course, and let us know what you think is going to happen with the last episode at 402-218-2007. Subscribe to the channel, like the Facebook Behind the Mask Presents, and follow us on Twitter at BTM Presents. And by doing that, not knowingly, you're going to enter yourself in a pretty sweet giveaway. Go on the Facebook or the website, and you're going to find how to enter. And if you've already done those things, by entering it simply by the click of a button, you're going to have 3 entries, easy peasy like that, to win one of those nifty Season 3 Collector's Edition Walking Dead Blu-ray fish tank. It's a fucking mouthful. I hate saying that shit. But they're nifty, and you'll be the envy of all your friends. Fill it up with water. Watch the little pieces of zombie flesh float, and it'll light up.
You should put red food coloring in there. That'd be cool, too.
You can do anything you want. How these little zombie spring-loaded heads don't deteriorate in the water over time, I don't know. I mean, you think maybe that's yet to be seen, but
could you put real fish in there?
You probably could. Why wouldn't you not be able to? I don't know if they'd survive.
Can't really move around very much.
That'd be cool. But I've got one in my own collection. They are really, really cool. So join that. Share it with your friends if you may, and we will be giving that away. Geez. The Friday of the week of the finale. So what day would that be? I think that's the 4th.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, the 4th. So you got about 12 days to jump on board with that. But anyway, that's all we got. I don't think I missed anything. No. Not this time. But thank you guys. Join us again next week. I'm Aaron.
River.
Pat.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, Canada.